Hey guys, confession time is Katie Cherry, and I volunteer helping people with their LinkedIn at the local church, but I haven't touched mine in a while and it's out of date and it doesn't reflect what I'm doing anymore. So today I'm just going to go through and revamp my whole profile page, talk about why I'm doing what I'm doing, and hopefully that will help you revamp your profile page from home. So let's get started. This is my page. I like the photo, but the banner doesn't reflect what I'm doing anymore. So the worst thing you can do on LinkedIn is, on your LinkedIn profile page in regards to banner is not have one. That makes it look like you don't know how to load a banner, makes you look tech incompetent, so we have to put something there. So if you really are struggling with the tech, you can come here and grab one of the pre-made ones that LinkedIn has. I don't like any of them, so I'm gonna make my own. I like to go to Canva, and on Canva's home screen, you can just type in LinkedIn banner, and there are a ton of templates for you to use. They go from the simple, just this like blush wave, to more descriptive space where maybe you're putting your name or your industry or what you want out of your job search. Maybe you want to get hired, maybe you want to help connect with people on LinkedIn. So any of these is a great place to start. They're easily editable and they're going to make a more positive impact than nothing or just a generic one. So for me today, I want to reflect that I'm now with SVG, which is Viking Sewing Galleries, by showing off some of their tools that I use every day and I enjoy using. So I've already kind of made this one for another purpose, and I resized it to go for my LinkedIn banner. And it's probably not the perfect size, but that's all right. We're going to roll with it. So the first thing I want to do is probably get rid of this center section. Although I do want it to reflect my company, I don't want it to be about the company. I want it to be about me. So I'm going to get rid of all these little circles. And then we're going to put maybe a new machine image or something that I've sewn in that center square. So let's look and see. Okay, I went through and I found this one of Vi sitting on a pair of pants I made. It's one of my favorites. It kind of mimics some of this kind of neutral color palette that the rest of the pictures have, matches the tribute over here. So I'm happy with it. And I could just load this right up now and it'll reflect that, this is my industry and that's great. I'm communicating with my audience, but I want to communicate a little bit more. I want to say what I do, how I help people in a way that's different than maybe other salespeople, right? So I'm going to add some text. So to add text, I'm going to come over here and click text, not complicated. And you can do kind of a font combo over here with some cool effects if that's what you're into. I don't think I need anything like that, so I'm just gonna add a text box and write how I feel. Ooh, but no one's gonna be able to see it that tiny. Let's make it way bigger. So how do I do what I do differently than other people? I believe that sewing is a way to get out your creative passion and that there's a sewing machine for everybody, and that I'm gonna help you find that machine, and creativity is gonna improve your life. So I'm gonna brainstorm those ideas in ChatGPT and see what they come up with over here. Okay, so I just described up here, can you write me a tagline about how I do my job differently than other people? I work at a sewing machine and embroidery. I sell sewing machines and embroidery machines for SVP. And then I wrote the things that I believe, and it came up with this one, and I wanted to see 5 more, so I did. And actually, I really like this part where creativity meets expertise, one machine at a time. So I'm just gonna steal it. The point of AI is not for them to do things for you. The point of AI is to help clarify your thoughts and get over blank page syndrome, because that is very real for me. Blank page syndrome. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and make this 2 lines, which is great, except for nobody can see that. And even if I made it black, still can't see that, which is fine because I'm gonna show you how to get over it. You're gonna come over here to elements, and we're just gonna look for square. Rectangle is better. Yeah, I like the one with the rounded edges. That's just me, so I'm gonna click it. Much better. that it looks a little bit stark. You guys see, everyone thinks I'm so good at Canva, but really it's just you don't see me clicking all over the place. So you can change the transparency and it makes you look like a total pro, like you completely know what you're doing, right? I love how Canva makes it look like I know what I'm doing. Let's see, check another color, couple of colors. These are my brand colors. They're just colors that speak to me. I use them in all my stuff, so it makes me visible across several platforms. Some of this is just playing around until you get something readable, right? All right, I downloaded that banner and hopefully we're gonna be able to find it pretty easily. I'm coming back here to my little pencil. Anywhere you see a pencil on LinkedIn, that's your opportunity to change something. And look at that, I now have a background that better describes what I'm actually doing now. This is maybe a little big, but I can always change it later. The important thing is that my picture over here doesn't cover it up. So I would love a more modern picture, but I don't have one right now, and it still looks pretty much what I look like. It's not too old, so I'm gonna stick with it. Down here, let's talk about name and title. So I'm using my name. I've decided to include MBA and an emoji. So on LinkedIn, there is something that I like to call the personal branding trio. It's the 3 assets that show up wherever you show up on the platform. So for that is your picture, your name, and this little blurb, little headline right here, right? Okay, so look, we're gonna go to the home screen. I'm gonna give you an example. Kelly, picture, title. You go into the comments, picture, name, description, picture, name, description, picture, name, description. So it shows up if you're posting, if you're commenting, if you are liking something and it shows up. Oh, look here on the mobile view, on the little view, it does cover up that description, that name, but not enough for me to worry about. You can still get the basic idea. The colors are there. You can see that sewing machines. It's good enough. So we're going to go back and look at mine. Here's my name. Here's my picture. Here's my description. Now I did change this when I started getting more into sales and away from a traditional HR role. I'm what happens when HR training and development meets sales, and then I drop some keywords. HR, MBA, SHRM CP. So people can search for your terms in your description. You have 240 characters, 220 I think. Use them wisely. Put in your descriptors, and I've seen people just keyword stuff this thing, and you can do that. I don't think it's the best approach. You want to tell people a little bit about who you are, why they want to do business with you in that short time that you have that is showing up everywhere. This is a powerful asset. We need to use it. So instead of just saying sales, salesperson, retail sales, HR, sales manager, which I could do, those are all appropriate terms, I've decided to give people a picture of how my HR experience contributes to my sales success and the sales success of my team. So, something to think about. There are a couple things you can use for your description for who you are. Those are all those sales terms. How you do what you do differently than other people. That's the I'm what happens when HR training meets sales. What you want from the platform. You'll notice that I don't have that on mine, but it is something you can add. So looking to make connections, hoping to learn more about XYZ topic, or even just looking to join my next team or looking open to work. So think about that when you're filling out that description. What do people need to see immediately that is going to make them want to work with you? All right, so I'm in creator mode. Creator mode is going to showcase things that you're putting out in the world. So I wouldn't suggest creator mode unless you are producing some kind of content. That could be sharing your thoughts on various articles or writing posts and polls or sharing your industry insight. If you're the kind of person who's kind of more lurking on LinkedIn and you're just doing like thumbs up and occasionally dropping a comment, just stay in regular mode. Part of creative mode, however, is that you do get these hashtags at the top that kind of describe what you do. And once again, what I do has changed recently, so I'm going to go ahead and update those now. All right, so I updated my talks about, which again, you only have if you're in creative mode. And I added a link here to the top of my profile that is so powerful. So right here, without having to scroll down, somebody can hyperlink to whatever I want them to. That could be my personal website, it could be my resume, it could be a short video explaining why they should hire me. I've chosen to link it to my personal YouTube page where I have sewing tips and talk about different sewing projects because that's my passion. Moving down, let's talk about the featured section. Now, this is where you can really shine. You are going to include work, samples, web pages, things that you've done, contributed, that are real things that are going to make you stand out among other people that are looking for a job or looking to, do whatever goals they want to achieve. So I've decided to highlight some things that I think would be helpful to my audience. Now, part of my audience is the group that I serve in my position as a volunteer at the job search work team. So, of course, one of the things that I have featured is my YouTube channel where all I talk about is job search stuff. That's probably where you're watching this right now. So, that's right there. Coming over here, this link, I clicked on it, it no longer works, so it's got to go. Once again, we're going to click our little pencil and just get rid of it. Now, activity. This is again what I was showing you, where if you are in creative mode, more of your stuff is going to show up here. If you are in just regular mode, it's going to be things that you liked or looked at or were interested in. So that's the difference is right here on the activity bar. About section. All right, so this is kind of a beast, and my advice here is to make it a story. You have an opportunity to have things be presented in the way you want to present them. A lot of the job seekers I work with are worried about their time off from work. Maybe they stayed home to raise a family, or maybe they career hopped for a little bit or really changed industries. This is your chance to take hold of the narrative. If somebody has scrolled this far onto your page, they are very interested in you and they want to learn more. So, maybe paint that picture of how your past experience is applicable to what you're doing now, or why staying home to raise your family made you a stronger candidate for the workforce. And once again, I'm going to advise and I'm going to use ChatGPT because I panic when I have to write something from scratch. So having a template or a brief outline that I can change and edit to suit my needs is going to be a game changer here. So I'm going to take another crack at it because, again, this is more HR focused and I want to change the way people perceive me online. All right, it's time to look at what I got. So I just brainstormed into ChatGPT. I kind of wrote all the things that are important to me and my journey, and I wanted them to write it like a story showing my passion for helping people. So that was kind of how I started the prompt. Gave a brief history, gave some of my career highlights, and it doesn't flow. The writing is just kind of choppy. But ChatGPT did a great job of turning it into that story format that I requested. Then I asked it to start it with a powerful tagline, and they got it. I don't like the rest of this, but that's the whole point of this, is that you are stealing the parts you like and asking it to refine as you go along until you get something that you're comfortable with. So even right here, I love the original and asked it to remove buzzwords because that is like death on LinkedIn, and it didn't completely get it. There's still a lot of buzzwords there, so I think I'm going to manually do it by copy pasting the original one that I really, really liked, combining it with this keyword, that tag phrase, the powerful start, because you want to hook your readers. All right, guys, I made some adjustments and I like it. So I'm starting off with a powerful statement immediately to get people interested. I'm keeping my sentences short, my paragraphs short, so they're easy to read online. I'm including real numbers and power statements to make myself more valuable and show that I'm not just talking nonsense. I've got the numbers to back it up. And way down here at the bottom, after my call to action, which is open collaboration, I also just write a little personal note about what I enjoy doing, what my hobbies are, so that I'm, uh, people can get to know the me outside of work. All right, guys, I posted it, and look here, my about section is cut off, but my power statement that is going to catch my readers is still right here on the top and readable before you have to click the see more, and that's an important thing to consider when you're writing your about section. All right, let's move down to experience. So, a lot of people want to just go ahead and drop their entire resume in the experience section, but I would encourage you, challenge you to think about it in a different way. Much like your about section, your experience section is an opportunity to tell more. So, a resume, we're trying to keep that to one page, right? And we're kind of tailoring it to wherever we're applying. As I said, I've kind of shifted from HR to a more sales role recently. So if I were doing a resume, it would have a lot of sales, and I'm trying to pull those sales background from my other more HR and marketing positions. But on LinkedIn, I have all the room in the world. I'm assuming if they've come down this far, they are really, really interested in me. So I'm going to include all the keywords I want, paint a story, tell a picture, paint a picture, tell a story. And once again, we're still using those kind of power examples. So we're using the numbers, we're using the real data to explain, show a picture of how we've brought success to the people that we work with and around. But you just have more space here. So if I have jobs where I've done HR, marketing, and sales, I have the room to tell that story. Likewise, I'm not going to start off with just job title, date, move on really quickly. I'm going to go ahead and explain kind of my role within the company, give a little bit of color as to why I was there and what I achieved in that location. Likewise, another thing that a lot of people are concerned about is what to do if you're unemployed. Nobody wants that gap there. If you do not have a most recent position, an ongoing position on LinkedIn, you're less likely to be seen and picked up by recruiters and other people, just something in the algorithm. So we're going to put something there. And you have a couple options. Some people decide to just stick with they're with their old company. I don't like this. It strikes me as dishonest, but you do you. Other people, like myself, actually did go into work for ourselves. I was consulting and educating people while I was unemployed. So I've listed myself as the solopreneur. The other things that you can do is like LinkedIn now lets you have a job break, a career break, where you can list what you've been doing. And as someone who hires, I want to see what you were doing. Were you using that time to feel bad for yourself and eat ice cream? Or were you using that time to pursue certifications or take care of family or develop yourself in some way or volunteer somewhere? So go ahead and take advantage of that ability to describe what you're doing in the blank spot, as it were, and portray it in a positive light. So right now, I don't hate this, but I am going to clean it up a little bit. As you can see, I have 7 experiences. So on my resume, I drop this, because we're trying to get down to 1 page. But again, here we have more room. So if they want to scroll all the way down and see that I was working while I was in high school, and then I kept that job for 8 years, great, that's awesome. I think it colors me in a good light, but I wouldn't put it on my resume anymore. So just something to think about. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and mute it, and you will just see the sped up version of me cleaning this area up. Oh, but before I do wanna talk about skills and work examples. So again, anywhere you see the pencil, that's your chance to edit. You have the option to add media. And once again, if you are doing that, you're already standing out from the crowd. So what awards have you won? What recognition have you gotten from the company? Is there a document that you created or some media or an award that you can put there that gives a tangible visual asset to what you've produced and given to the company? I think that's so important. If you can do that, it makes you stand out. So do it. Also, right here, skills. So you have that huge skills block at the bottom of the page where you just list 50 skills that you've done. But it is so powerful to be able to include like what position you use those skills in, because anyone can say that they do Microsoft Excel, but like if it's showing up that you did it at these jobs, that's paints a more powerful picture for you, right? So don't skip on the skills and the media on your about section. Okay, now for real, I'm going to speed it up. All right, guys, I was updating this, but I realized that I can't go further in these updates because I have the wrong skills. I just talked about the importance of matching your skills with the job, and my skills are old. When I first started on LinkedIn, I was younger, and a lot of my skills were just that I knew that I could do that maybe aren't as specific and honed in as what I'm doing now. So I need to go delete some of those more general skills and focus on the specific, unique things that I bring to the table. So we're going to go ahead and scroll down, all the way down to skills, open that up, and I think I'm going to kind of nuke most of it so that I can have a stronger presentation, less general, more specific. So you can see here that there are things that I have attached to jobs. Some things have endorsements, some things are attached to different locations where I've worked. And those are definitely more powerful than the ones that have no connections. So once again, we're just gonna go silent and speed up as I delete some of the more general, less used skills and focus on what I really bring to the table. Guys, I have things on here like leadership that aren't very specific, and things like research that don't really mean anything. And when I say that I'm deleting the more general skills, that's what I mean, because I want to have room for things like recruitment and all right, friends, I got my skills cleaned up. I went from 50 skills totally full down to 28, and I wanted to show you that almost every single skill either has an endorsement or, even better, a place that I've used it. It's connected to one of my jobs. And down here at the bottom, I want to show you Microsoft Excel and Microsoft Word. I have passed the LinkedIn Skills Assessment. That is free to take, and you can take it more than once. I think there's a gap of a couple of months if you fail it the first time. But if you feel confident in any of those skills assessments, do it. It saves the recruiter time. A lot of the time, I'm sure you've had to take that test before when you sit down. This just proves that you've already done it. And it adds more weight to your skill, like you've really done this skill the same way that having it attached to a job or a location does. So now that I'm happier with my skills and I have room to add more skills as I refine my experience, let's go back to experience. So I just want to show you two different formats here. This is my latest one that I just cleaned up, fixed up. Manager at SVP, that's my current job position. And look how readable that is once you just put in a little bit of the bold formatting. And you might be wondering how I did that, because LinkedIn does not support rich text formatting. So what you do is a little bitty workaround. You're going to go to LinkedIn Font Generator or any of these other similar places on the internet. Find the bold. I mean, I would suggest against these fancy fonts. I'm just looking for this bold right here. You're going to type in what you want, copy it, and paste it. And that's how I got that nice, bold, pretty font that makes it a little bit easier to read. So now I'm going to take some time to go through, kind of rewrite and clean up, get these all in the same format. All right, we got it. So I have now updated all of these to be in the same format, the same storytelling format that shows off multiple facets of what I did. Not just HR, not just marketing and whatever job I was in, but the full range of how I was able to contribute to these different organizations. I also updated and added some media to show examples of my work and cleared up that skills section that was a little messy before. So I'm really happy with how my experience looks now, and I hope that if anyone was coming to check out my history, they would have a better idea of what I've done. All right, scrolling past the experience section. Education looks good. I'm not really going to change much there. Licensing and certification. All right, I got my SHRM CP, and you can link to show the credential, which is really cool. And projects. So I have a couple of projects, and these are just more opportunities to tie your skills in with things that you've done and tie in your teamwork, showing that you've worked with other people here on LinkedIn. I'm gonna go ahead and open up. We're gonna start with a new project. Anywhere you see the pencil, that is your chance to change it. So I'm gonna have the opportunity to add media skills, and I think most importantly, contributors to the project, because that shows who you've worked with. And remember when I said that the value of having these projects is the collaboration? Well, I just realized that I haven't actually added any contacts from my new company. So I just send out a bunch of invites, and hopefully soon I'll be able to add them onto this project so that they also will get the glory of our fabulous job well done. All right, guys, we hit the banner, the photo, the name, the profile, the about section, the difference between creative mode and regular mode. And I gotta tell you, I am so happy with how my page is looking now. Before, when I was volunteering and showing people how to set up their LinkedIn profile, I was embarrassed because I knew mine wasn't where it needed to be. So now it's a lot better. I'm still going to work on chasing down the people to collaborate on this project and hopefully getting and giving a few more recommendations, because again, that shows you're a real person that's really worked with other team members and what they thought. And so those are really valuable, and I know I could always do more in that area. I hope this helped. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me so that we can work on improving our stuff together. I'm here on LinkedIn. I'm also on YouTube.